Robert Borden, the Prime Minister of Canada during World War I, was an imperialist, meaning he wished for Canada to become a greater nation. It is because of him, as well as the new British government who wished for more troops, that Canada's conscription was announced, forcing able men to fight overseas in the war. Although the Canadian Army received an overwhelming number of soldiers at the beginning of the war, the death rate was too high that enlistments couldn't sustain it. This act would later show that the new troops would be fighting alongside and for the British Army, which would make up for Canada's mistake of not anticipating the enormous number of enlistments in 1914, which caused the soldiers to be poorly trained and retrained again by the British. By July 24, 1917, the bill was passed through Parliament primarily because of its appeal to English loyalists, which formed most of the seats in the Assembly. Although the conscription appealed to many English loyalists, many riots broke out in Quebec because of French Canadians who didn't want to fight for the English. One of these riots ended with 4 casualties and dozens of citizens injured. Another one had been caused by the arresting of a 23-year-old man in a bowling alley for not having his conscription registration papers. Surprisingly, the conscription bill's effect on French Canadians were not restricted to times during the war. To this day, the French Canadians' views on the rest of Canada being part of the British Empire have caused a divide between Quebec and the rest of the country. If Canada would have not introduced the conscription bill, or at least changed it to exclude French Canadians, it might have encouraged the French to be more open and involved in the development of Canada from then on.